Quilty is brought to you by APQS, handcrafted quilting machines. Baby Lock, for the love of sewing. Hovel, when you need to cut it close, choose Hovels. Quiltology, the urban quilt space.
Quilty.
Welcome to Quilty. Today's episode is a Blocks a Go-Go episode, which means that we focus on one block and one block only to help you become the master of this block. And the block we're doing today is actually featured on the quilt behind me. That's a pretty chain block, and we're going to do it together. To make this pretty chain block, we're going to make strip sets. The reason that this block is a little more involved is because it's not just one strip set or even two strip sets, it's 3 strip sets, and we call them strip sets X, Y, and Z. The first strip set that you make, you're going to do, it's very simple. It's like as simple as it gets. You're going to sew one of your 1 3/4 inch colors to one of your 1 3/4 inch contrasting or dark fabrics, or fabric A to fabric B. Simple as that, okay? Put your right sides together and do your 1/4 inch seam, okay? Because that's a really long seam, I'm not going to take the time to sew it. I'm going to show you a section of one that I've done already, okay? Simple as that. You just do a 1/4 inch seam and press it open toward the dark. So that is strip set X. The next strip set Y, is, boy, on this dark fabric, all the little threads sure show up, don't they? You're going to sew your color fabric onto your darker fabric or your contrasting fabric on either side. That is strip set Y. So again, you put your right sides together and sew your 1/4 inch strip. And even before you take it and press it, you can sew the other side. You can take this all to the sewing machine and do that all at the same time. Okay, so what you end up with when you make that strip set is a little something like that. Your last strip set, you're almost done. You take your 3-inch strip of your color fabric or your print, fabric B, and sew it's just the opposite of the strip set we just did. So you're going to take the majority of it, the middle part is going to be the print or the color, fabric B, and you're going to sew 2 strips of the darker fabric on either side, right? One here and one here. And what you get is this little guy. It's pretty easy to understand. And you follow the pattern, always follow the pattern, and that pattern will be available on the website. Now, the reason that we did strip sets is because sewing together all the little pieces for this quilt or for this block would be really, really laborious, and it would take a long time. Strip sets are actually they're very fast because you want all these little pieces to come together, and to sew them all with little squares would take a long time. So from the first strip set X, you want to cut 1 3/4 inch blocks. I'm going to call them blocks because these are going to make up the corners of our blocks. These are 1 3/4 inch units, okay? Put on your klutz glove, put your rotary cutter down, line up all your lines, clean off your edge, this is just waste, okay? And measure 1 3/4 inch over. Make sure you're getting a nice straight line. And there you go, you have your little unit. It's sewn on the back. You didn't have to cut out teeny bits of fabric, you could just have that ready to go. You're gonna need several of those. You're actually gonna need you need 8 of those all together. I will cut just a couple. Because what we're gonna do, flip it and reverse it. And when we sew that together, we have our corner unit for our block. You make 4 of those, okay? Make 4 of those. That's strip set X. From strip set Y, we are cutting 1 3/4 inch strips off of this. I'm gonna clean up this edge, although it looks pretty good. I always clean up the edge because, I don't know, I'm just like that. That's how my mom taught me to do it. So measure 1 3/4 inches over on your rotary cutting mat. And 1 3/4 inches gives us this. We're going to have 2 of those. And let's see, make sure it's all lined up and everything looks good. Yes, it does. Hold on tight to your ruler. Great. So I've got 2 of those. And those, if you can tell, in our main block, if you take a look at the main block, these pieces are these. You'll see how it all comes together, but these go on either side. Okay, so we have those. So that's from strip set Y. So we've got the pieces from strip set X, the pieces from strip set Y, and now we're going to cut the pieces from strip set Z, and then we'll be done with that, and we can start putting together our finished block, okay? So our last strip set is strip set Z, and it looks a little bit like that. And from strip set Z, we are cutting a 3-inch wide strip. This is the center of our block. Isn't it nice someone did all this math and this design work for you so you do not have to figure out what this would be? I mean, it's just, you know, it's good. It's good. You don't have to do the math. It's there for you. Close your rotary cutting blade always. So let's see how this lays out. This is the center. You see how it's sort of laying out, right? This center of the block is just like that. And that becomes your center unit, and you sew it together for the little 9-patch sort of that it becomes down here. I'll put it right down there. So the next step is to join this row to that side and this row to this, okay? So you've made all your strip sets and you've got all your little units, and I'm gonna take this away here. This one's super nice. We've got our corner 4 patches, our middle 9-patch, and our gray rectangles come in at this point. So now it's just sewing our rows. I've done one ahead of time. So it's going to look something like this when you're finished. Okay, and you're ready to join your final rows. This definitely warrants a few pins because that's a really long seam. I'm not going to take the time to sew it. And then once you've joined all your rows, you have your finished block. I'll trim up the little edges. It looks pretty darn good. This is a really cool chain block. I recommend you make one of your own. I did one in another fabric, another combination. Again, a dark fabric that shows lint, but this is a pink and black version. The sky's the limit, and this is a really cool block that looks harder than it really is. So try it yourself, and thanks for joining us on Quilty.
Quilty is brought to you by APQS, handcrafted quilting machines. Baby lock, for the love of sewing. Hovel, when you need to cut it close, choose Hovels. Quiltology, the urban quilt space.